Hello, YouTube friends. How are you today? I wanted to come on here today to talk about the stories that we tell ourselves, particularly now in the pandemic. And as things are starting to get more normalized, I mean, we're not there yet, but I know here in New York, all adults are going to be vaccinated, or vaccines are going to be available for all adults who want it May 1st. Both my kids are back in 4 days. If your kids are still at home, my heart goes out to you. It's coming. It's coming. Hang in there, mamas. Hang in there, mamas, right? But as things start to get normalized, I want us to take a look at the story we've been telling ourselves about this pandemic. And yes, it has been super challenging in so many ways. And a lot of us, I feel like sometimes we use it as inspiration to take really good of ourselves, take really good care of ourselves. And sometimes we use it as a really good excuse to just kind of shrivel up and shrink back to some of our unhealthy coping mechanisms. And as things become more normalized, I just want to start a discussion about how much relief there really will be, because it's really, how have you been taking care of yourself? Because now that my kids are back in school 4 days, I take them to school, I come home, and honestly, and I think a lot of us are going to be doing this, we're just going to be like exhaling for a little while. I come home from dropping them off in the morning and I feel catatonic. I can't move for like an hour, and they're in school and I'm finding it's the same struggles with self. So I just want you to start thinking about, because what I'm worried is going to happen for a lot of us is that wherever you go, there you are. So we're all blaming our suffering right now on the pandemic. And yes, it has caused a lot of suffering. And if you've lost someone close to you, particularly, terrible, terrible human suffering is going on. And the stress levels of moms and dads with kids not in school, it's terrible. However, when everyone's back in school and, there's not going to be a magic wand waved that's going to make you feel good in your body. The only thing that can do that for you is you and your own practices. And if you're struggling to do it now, you'll probably still be struggling once things get back to normal. So sometimes we can believe the stories we tell ourselves and we look for excuses of why we're not showing up as the best version of ourselves for ourselves. Forget about work or kids or partners, just for you. How are you showing up on a day-to-day basis to take care of your mind, body, and spirit the way that you need to be taken care of? And when we have such a huge excuse of the pandemic, right? It gives us this feeling like, oh, it's okay. I can just kind of watch too much TV and eat too much and, maybe drink too much and scroll on my phone because I have to survive this pandemic, right? But pretty soon, in a few months, it's gonna be behind us. And I think what I'm finding now as things are normalizing is that I'm still just me, whether I'm in the pandemic with my kids at home screaming or my kids are at school. Granted, they're at home and that gives me time and space to do things like this. But I've also learned how to create boundaries with them when they're home. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And basically what I'm trying to say is that the pandemic is just one more outer circumstance. And the path that I'm on in my life right now, and what I want to share with you guys, is that I don't want to look to outer circumstances anymore to define how I'm living my life. I don't want to rely on how things are going on out in the world for my state of being, for my frequency. I do that on my own through exercise and meditation and working with a coach. I work on tending to my wellness. And I found myself falling into those same traps. They're at school now and I'm like, oh, here I am I have this free time, and it's really tempting to just go numb and like numb out on the couch. And maybe we need that for a little while. Maybe we need that for a little while, to just not have the noise and the little hands pulling on us or the screaming at each other, just to have a little time off from that. But also, we need to remind ourselves that as things start to normalize, it's still up to us to take care of ourselves, to bring ourselves the peace of mind that we're looking for. It's not going to come just when the kids go off to school. It's not going to come just when we can go out and be in restaurants with each other and gatherings. Yes, there will be a lot of joy in families reuniting, and I look forward to it. And I'm hoping this summer can be that, right? But what it comes down to is that your happiness really relies on one relationship, and that's the relationship with yourself. No one else can give you how you feel about yourself. And I know in my journey that the more I show up for myself every day, whether it's doing yoga, meditation, reading. I've been reading this book. I don't know if you guys know this book, Women Who Run with the Wolves. I highly recommend it. I love it, love it, love it. It's by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. And it's a really spiritual book that uses folklore to talk about women and intuition and how important it is for us as women to go to our intuition and live in that place and source from that place. Highly recommend it. So one of the things that I do is I read this in the morning because in the morning I know I have a choice. Am I going to get on the train that goes to negativity and complains about what's going on around me and feel like I don't have enough of something, of organization or of a clean house or am I going to get on the train that's going to be present, that's going to look inside, get still, feel my real authentic power, and then source my day from that. So first thing in the morning is a great time to set your energy for the day. And that could just be taking 3 deep breaths when you wake up in the morning. Keeping the phone out of the bed, that's a new thing for me. I got my phone out of the bed. I'm going to try to get it out of the bedroom, I think. I don't know. That seems impossible to me. If any of you have been able to do that successfully, let me know how you did it. But I get that out of my bed, and then when I wake up in the morning, I take 3 deep breaths just to get into my body first before I get into the neurosis of my mind, to get into the pleasure of my body, to feel how good it feels to take a deep breath before I go into the neurosis of my mind. It's a choice. So I was just thinking about this today because I think it's going to be interesting. I think there will actually be things that maybe one day we miss about this time. I know it's hard to believe, but we had a lot of time, special time with our family in different ways. I know this might sound premature because we're not at the end of it. We still have many months and maybe even a year of masks, who knows? But I just could sense as things were normalizing a little bit for my family, it's still on me. It's still on me to take care of myself. Them being in school for a certain amount of hours doesn't automatically equal my peace of mind and happiness. And so I just wanted to remind all of us that, and that's okay. That's okay. I don't want to scare anyone. But I know that we can often tell ourselves stories about why we're not doing things. Oh, I'm not exercising because the pandemic is too stressful and my kids are here and I can't do it. But then they go back to school and you're still not exercising. It's like, okay, so which is it? Which isn't? And where does that decision really come from? It should come from within you, not about outer circumstances. So what can you decide in the coming days that you can do for yourself? How can you show up in a way for yourself that you haven't been able to do so far? You haven't been able to summon the strength or the presence because of the chaos and because of the stress that we've all been under. It's really hard to be present and have the focus to direct it at yourself, right? But I'm here just as an inspiration to tell you that this is the way through. You are the way through to peace, to taking care of this beautiful body that you've been gifted, and tending to those needs that you have, tending to your heart and to your mind and to your spirit. And that is the way through. It's not about how well we're taking care of our kids or, you know, even how well our partnership is going. It's how well we're taking care of ourselves, because then once we're full, it bleeds out to all of those other things. So what can you do? What can you do? And, you know, I've mentioned this before in videos, but if you don't have it yet, I have a gift for everyone. You can go to balancedmomprescription.com. There's a link on my YouTube channel where you can just click it and it takes you right there. And it's a gift for you with a self-care chart to get you started. So it helps you kind of mark out what you're going to do in the morning and what you're going to do in the evening, because those are 2 times we can optimize as moms when our kids are not, you know, really needing us. And there's also a nice meditation for you to be able to give yourself some gratitude as a mommy. So enjoy that. You just put your email in and I'll send those gifts to you. So just start thinking about it, guys. Just start thinking about what real life is going to be like, and where are the decisions coming from? Are they coming from your outer world or from within you? And the power is yours, and you can do it. You can give yourself what you need to thrive. I know you can. All right. Thinking about you guys. Take care. Do something really nice for yourself today. All right. You're doing an amazing job. You are. Keep going. Okay. I'll see you soon. Bye.